Let's talk about a story that's all about monumental failure. I mean, the kind of soul-crushing, repeated failure that somehow ends up changing the entire world.
So, take a look at this number, 1009. Just let that sit there for a second. What in the world could that possibly be? It's not a date, it's not some random stat. It's a count of how many times something failed.
And this is really the heart of it. Can you even imagine trying something and failing over 1,000 times? And the whole time, every single person you know is telling you you're crazy, that you're wasting your life, and that you should just stop.
To really get this, we've got to go back in time a bit, to the 1870s. See, this isn't a story about some big company with tons of cash. Nope. This is about one guy, pretty much alone, fighting a world that was absolutely convinced he was out of his mind. I mean, look at the obstacles he was up against. He had no money to fund his work. He had zero connections to help him out. His own neighbors, they just laughed at him. And investors, they didn't just say no, they pretty much slammed the door in his face. All he had was a brain packed with what everyone else called crazy ideas. So what on earth keeps a person going when faced with all that? Well, at the end of the day, it wasn't about getting rich or famous. It was this deep, burning desire to prove every single one of those people wrong. That was his fuel.
But, every story like this has a breaking point, a moment where the dream is hanging on by a thread, closer to just dying out than it's ever been.
After years of nonstop work, he hit this just staggering number, 1,000 failed experiments. Just think about that for a second. Not 10, not 100, 1,000 separate times where his big idea just fizzled. The desperation must have been unbelievable. And that's when his last bit of support just crumbled. When your own family starts begging you to quit for your own sake, that's when you know you are completely, totally alone in what you believe. So you really have to ask, was this it? With no money, zero support, and just this mountain of failures behind him, was this the moment that the dream was finally over?
But it wasn't. In the quiet of his workshop, right on the edge of giving up, this one tiny little thing happened that changed the course of history. He was testing another material when a thin little wire, it didn't burn out, it didn't pop, it just glowed, a steady, brilliant light. And that one little glowing wire, that was everything. That was the breakthrough. That was the moment all that struggle turned into one of the biggest triumphs in human history.
This was it, the very first practical electric light bulb. An invention that wasn't just some stroke of genius. No, it was literally built on the ashes of 1,000 failures. It was living proof that real success often comes from learning what doesn't work over and over again. And that man, the one who just refused to quit, the one with the head full of crazy ideas, his name was Thomas Edison. And on that 1,010th try, he didn't just invent a light bulb, he lit up the entire future. So you see the path, right? The struggle of the 1870s led to that one tiny glow in 1879. And that single moment of success has rippled through time, leading straight to the world we live in right now. Every time we flip a switch, we're living in a world that was literally lit by failure. Okay, so what does this story from way back when mean for us today? The lesson in this light bulb, well, it connects directly to our own lives, our own struggles. Edison's whole journey basically gives us a roadmap. It's not complex, but man, it takes guts. You try something, you fail. That's not just possible, it's part of the process. The trick is to learn from that failure. Use what you learned, and then get back up and repeat the cycle. That's the path. This is really the big takeaway. We tend to think successful people are the ones who just never mess up. But the truth? It's the exact opposite. Real, lasting success belongs to the people who see failure as a lesson, not a dead end, and who just plain refuse to stop trying. So as we wrap this up, I'm going to leave you with this question. That big thing you're working on, that crazy idea in your own life, maybe you're not at the end of your rope. Maybe, just maybe, you're one attempt away from your own glowing light bulb moment. So, what will your 1,010th try be?